Pro Wrestling Podcast.
I like that butt.
No, you fool! I don't get it.
I don't watch the show, Nicole. Why would I watch the show?
Wow, that's a soundbite.
Welcome to the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, where we talk about the best pro wrestling in the world. My name is Tommy Stryker. Joining me finally back in studio this week after like a month. Like it's been like Taco and I talk. It's all been over the phone. Everybody's back.
I know it's weird having my fucking pants on. God damn it!
Right? This is kind of weak. I feel like I should be more comfortable.
We just all agree no pants podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't have pants on. I have shorts on. But
not the same.
So yeah, everybody's back in studio this week. The G1 is over. It was a hell of a climax. But and we talked about all of the G1 Climax stuff over on the Strong Honor podcast. The finals just wrapped up, so we'll check out all of that stuff as well as Ring of Honor news. We talked about the Madison Square Garden selling out, that big newsworthy stuff. We talked about Colt Cabana suing CM Punk over there on Strong Honor as well, so check out all of that stuff over there, as well as the news that at the All In show coming up in just a few weeks now, like we're just like 2-3 weeks away from All In, Pentagon Jr. versus Kenny Omega.
That'll be fun shit.
In one of the semi-main events. So check out Strong Honor this week. Lots of cool stuff over there. But this week, now that we're all back together just in time for SummerSlam and NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 right around the corner. So big weekend coming up to talk about that. So we get our predictions in for that, as well as we're going to bring up some stuff that we don't usually bring up.
Yeah.
Impact's stock is on the rise, and I definitely want to talk some Impact this week, as well as MLW. Some kind of crossover stars in both of those promotions as well, like Sami Callihan and
Pentagon as well.
Pentagon. So, yeah, MLW, free on YouTube. You can watch it every week, as well as on Be In Sports. I checked, you can get Be In Sports on the Sling TV like Taco and I have, but it's like $10 extra a month. And you get a couple other obscure sports channels that nobody really watches. So that it is available on what we watch. I didn't check to see where it's like on
Too bad Pop TV isn't on that list.
Other cable
and I have
systems.
extra shows to watch.
Right. So, yeah, I want to talk about those things. I know, Joe, you got a chance to watch the Battle Riot, so we'll get into all of that stuff later here on the show.
Cool.
But we got to get back. We got to get back in form here. We got to get back to the format. We got to get back.
We don't have to do shit.
That's true. We could just sit here and bullshit like we usually do. I mean, it is a podcast, but I think the people are clamoring to hear what our hashtag.
You clammy motherfuckers, you.
Hashtag the best, hashtag the B, whatever it is.
The B stands for best.
We like to start off positive, start off talking about the best of the week. Taco, what is your best of the week this week?
My best. Oh, yeah. Ishii. God, he's fucking best bout machine to the T, dude. Like, fucking just doesn't disappoint. Every fucking win was a meaningful fucking win. Sets up fucking good matches for himself down the road, and just I'm always fucking rooting for the guy. So I just want some gold on him.
Well, he's definitely going to get that shot later this year. Actually, probably just in a couple of months versus Kenny Omega. One of two guys to beat Kenny Omega in the tournament. So Ishii will get his shot for the gold later this year. But yeah, had a hell of a run. Great matches with everybody. Even with when we talked about this on Strong Honor as well. But Ishii had great matches with guys that weren't having great matches. He had a great match with I forget now. Was it Tama Tonga in his block?
Yeah, Tama was in that block.
Yeah.
He was the one that fought Omega.
Yep. So yeah, he had a great match with Tama Tonga. Had a great match with who else was in that B block?
Well, he just beat all the champs though too.
Right. Yeah, he beat Omega.
Yeah, he fucking sets himself up.
He had a great match with Goto, who did not have a very good tournament in my opinion. But he had the best match you could have with Goto. Those two just ramming into each other. Well, I watched that one earlier today too. Fucking, they just killed each other. And that match with Goto, they worked the crowd in such a good good way. Like, they built to this crescendo and ended the match at just like this perfect moment where the crowd was just the most hyped. And so, yeah, Ishii getting the win there, and Ishii beating Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
Juice taking a lot of losses in the tournament, but having a really great performance, too. So, yeah, good pick there in Ishii. What's your best of the week there, Joe?
Oh, I was waiting for that.
The B stands for best.
I wasn't paying attention. I was watching something
I
else.
don't watch the show, Paul. Why would I watch the show?
I'll get to my best of the week, but have you guys heard? You've heard the new B Team theme song, right? Their entrance music.
Actually, I haven't.
Oh man!
Just like Brock Lesnar,
I don't watch the show, Paul. Why would I watch the show?
But they've got an awesome new theme.
Hold on, let me go.
You Google that. I'm going Flair, Lynch, and Mella. I've actually.
Shit. That's definitely not the B team. That'd be awesome.
I wish. I don't.
If the B team were coming out to.
I'd take this. Oh yeah.
Hold on, let me mix it in here.
The B stands for best.
I think you just need to make that a soundbite now.
That just works like best.
But
don't even bother playing their fucking music now.
Flair,
at this point.
Lynch,
It's
and Mella.
trash. It's fucking garbage.
The feud is built up well. I know a lot of people are butthurt over Becky Lynch not getting the single shot and basically almost guaranteeing her the title at SummerSlam against Mella. But you throw in Charlotte and you've got this amazing set of two wrestlers that are going to be pretty much the whole match while Mella can sneak in. She's a diva, dude. She's not a wrestler. But but I really enjoyed the interactions on this week's SmackDown in the ring for their opening promo. I believe they opened SmackDown with that, and then just in the back after a match between the two, they're just talking, and the line that Charlotte drops is, may the best woman win, and Becky Lynch, oh, she will. And then walks away. But I'm loving the heat between these two because, again, you can build to an awesome feud between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. And I'd actually be very interested, can Becky Lynch pull off a heel turn? Because I feel like Charlotte's got too big of a character. Could Becky Lynch go heel?
I'd like to see Charlotte go back to heel because that, I think, would be an even better dynamic between those two. Well, here's the B team theme. I think this is the.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Oh, I love it. No, it's awesome.
Is this the right one?
Coach loves it.
This is definitely not it.
This is not it.
No. That is their old one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a fucking high school pep rally
Yeah.
that they come out to.
All right, let me go back here.
B team, go, go.
I should have just clicked the one that says new B team theme. That would have been the good. Nope, that's the same one.
Are you sure if this is the new one?
What if there is no new theme?
What if this is like a whole Berenstein Bears thing kind of
All right,
deal?
I'm going to do a search
Fucking
on
Berenstein.
YouTube because now I have to know.
God, I'm just telling you, Coach enjoys it. I should just tell you enough.
You enjoyed it so much you got kicked off the show.
Yeah, and it was a great week.
Yeah,
all right, here we go. Second new
hope
theme
this-
song. It's only 1 week old. Here we go. I think I hear some harmonies in there too.
And he was not joking. Straight up, fucking pep rally.
Yeah. It's just I do like the all right, I'm not mad at that.
It's better with the crowd too.
Sure.
Yeah, the crowd does get into it.
It encourages the chanting along. Okay, I get it, sort of. My best of the week.
The B stands for best.
Triple up on our B team there. I'm going with the entire weekend, the finals from the G1, the A block finals, the B block finals, and the final day, of course. So many cool stories along the way. The Tongans getting banned, almost getting suspended, playing into storyline. Naito
Just to walk out with some gold.
Yeah, right. He's fucking bamboozling everybody, walking out with gold.
I've been bean boozled.
And then, well, and even one thing we didn't talk about on the Strong Honor podcast, when they won the Never Trios titles, they didn't use any of the skullduggery. They won fucking clean. So after cheating in skullduggery the entire tournament, they beat the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll clean for the Never Three-Way title and Never Trios titles.
So awesome. You mad?
So yeah, everybody mad. So that was a story. Naito fucking trying to eke squeal his way into the finals, gets beaten by Zack Sabre Jr. in his chance. So yeah, and then the three finals matches, the just great stuff.
Rises left and right.
Yeah, Tanahashi and Okada, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, and then of course the finals. Just a fucking phenomenal thing. Check out
And
Strong.
C Block, shit.
C Block. David Finlay walking away with a little gold thumb. So
I do wish they would have called it like C Block 4 though, like CB4. If anyone's a fan of that movie.
No one's a fan of that.
I just kept every time I heard C Block, I just kept thinking of somebody saying, "Oh man, she's trying to C Block me tonight." You know. So there's that. All right, let's change it up. Let's get into the little bit of the news.
Change the subject.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
Again, most of the stuff I wanted to talk about, we already discussed on Strong Honor. You know, the Madison Square Garden selling out for Ring of Honor in New Japan. Huge news there. Pentagon and Omega for All In is big news, and as well as Colt Cabana suing CM Punk. This was news to you, Joe, so I wanted to repeat it here. But yeah, basically the gist of it is Colt Cabana is saying that CM Punk said he was going to cover the legal bills, went back on his word, and so they're taking it to court. It's just a sad situation all around. I partially blame WWE for this. Yeah, CM Punk is being a punk, living up to his name there. But I mean, if WWE doesn't put all that money behind Dr. Amon, however you say it,
Amana,
whatever. If WWE doesn't back his case, which was, frivolous from the start pretty much, and put all this money into this thing, taking it to court, taking it to trial, then these guys don't have to rack up these legal bills. So that's part of this too for me. For me, some of the heat of this friendship breaking up goes towards WWE. But I mean,
this friendship was broken up before that even they fucking started hating each other right after that podcast, and this legal shit started drawing out.
That was
that's why people saw them in the courtroom together laughing. So like, oh shit's good again. Nah.
Well, I mean, that was where the tension started, was when WWE sent the cease and desist to Colt Cabana, take this podcast down. He was like, fine, I don't want any trouble, I'll take it down. Then that's when CM Punk lawyered up and was like, hey, do me a solid and I'll cover your legal bills, leave it up. And then that's when the shit started to hit the fan. He left it up, got involved legally, and then for whatever reason, Punk decided he's not going to keep covering the legal bills. So it's an unfortunate situation all around. And
UFC changed him.
What? Honestly, listening to when I listened to Colt Cabana's kind of post-trial podcast, where he talked about how that whole situation was making him feel just physically, it was awful, him going through that process, just him not being used to that and dealing with that kind of emotional situation. And so him voluntarily kind of going back into a legal situation like that is interesting, that he's willing to kind of go through that again.
I think the position he's at is either pay a $500,000 bill or pay a $200,000 bill.
Right.
$200,000 bring Punk to court kind of shit, right. So it's just, it's really shitty. It's fucking legal shit sucks.
Man, it just kills. Look, I think you said it, but it just kills any idea. It's like I kind of was holding out the tiniest sliver of hope that I would ever see CM Punk step in any ring again. I'm not even saying WWE, but any ring, and it's gone. The guy's done, and like you said, disappointing.
Yep.
Two friends breaking up, let alone, Colt doesn't need this. Like, again, he's almost starting a new career through his podcast, technically, let alone that transitioning into being so much of a commentator on Ring of Honor. So he's still been setting himself up in these good positions, and yet there's always something raining down over the top of him.
The bottom line is I don't want to see Colt Cabana go through what Shane went through. Going to court is painful.
Those liver problems will get you.
My liver.
It just keeps going. All right, let's get out of this news. Oh, no, wait, one more. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You got to do a rewind version of that,
Yeah.
too.
Gotta go back. Back to the news segment. How could I forget the passing of Jim Neidhart? Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So sad. I feel really bad for Natalia and the whole family, really. But, I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Total Divas, but when I did, some of my favorite stuff was Natty hanging around her kind of a bit of a train wreck of a family, to be honest. And seeing Jim Neidhart in some of those situations, it was a little sad. You could tell he wasn't in the best shape of his life, physically, mentally, substance-wise, quite possibly. So it's sad all around. But, yeah, lots of good memories of him being a fun wrestler, the Hart Foundation.
Fucking laugh, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until they played it on WWE television, and it just fucking just laugh. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it brought back so much just hearing his ridiculous laugh.
Seeing like random 30-second videos of just like clips of him doing the laugh or whatever are pretty good too. So yeah, sad situation. Condolences to the whole Hart family and Neidhart family, whatever. It's too many deaths this year and too young. He was too young to go. So sad stuff there.
Sad time.
All right, now let's change it up. Let's do something a little more fun. Let's talk Impact.
And it sound good?
I think this is just the old TNA one.
This is the old Spike TV TNA theme. Yeah, it was either this or the old what did we do the TNA trivia with Impact or whatever.
Oh yeah, dummy. Yeah,
right. So
yeah, dummy.
Get rid of that music there. But yeah, I mean, they're gaining steam coming out of Slammiversary. I've been checking out the shows week to week. I'm into it. You know, it's not, I like Austin Aries. He's good as a babyface and as a heel. Right now, they're kind of moving him into that heel role, which I liked him as a babyface on top. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about Eddie Edwards. He's kind of
Has he ever been babyface since his return to Impact?
Austin Aries?
Yeah.
Well, that's I don't.
He's always pretty much been cocky heelness.
Sure, but he can walk that line of being cocky, but also, the underdog babyface because of his size or whatever. And I like a cocky babyface, a cocky guy that a guy that's good that can back it up. Like when Brock Lesnar was a babyface, he was just a badass who talked shit and backed it up. I like when Austin Aries can do that. They're going the opposite direction. Not only are they going, he's going a little more chicken shit. He's got a guy who's backing him up now, Killer Cross. There was he had a match with Eddie Edwards this last week for the championship.
Killer Cross is on Aries' side now.
Yeah, Killer Cross joined Aries, helped him out with a bunch of skullduggery towards the end of the match.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I'm feeling about Eddie Edwards being the fucking crazy guy now with the kendo stick in his mouth.
I love it. It makes him interesting. He's fucking boring.
That is true.
He was always I don't good wrestler. I'm not saying that. It's just look wise, just boring. He has this lost fucking quarterback fucking for the New York Giants, Eli Manning. Fucking he has that lost Eli Manning face almost, but still a hell of an athlete. It just never really stuck out. And this Sami Callihan thing has been the best thing for him now. Now he's fucking sticking out. He looks mean. He looks nasty in some cases. I love, he just looks like a maniac. And I love this transformation of this guy. I gave zero thoughts of him in the past. Just Eddie Edwards. Oh yeah, that guy. And I was like, fuck, he's a maniac.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's a good point.
I love that he's just a complete dirtbag heel now. His own wife doesn't even want to look at him.
But that's the thing is now they're going baby. He's still a maniac, but now he's a babyface maniac.
Oh, really?
Because that was the deal with Aries, because now he's got the Killer Cross guy on his side, and there's the skullduggery, and we're screwing over the new hardcore babyface that everybody's supposed to like.
Okay.
So that was where I was kind of weird with it. Like,
I wanted him to become Sami Callihan.
Yeah, no, they didn't go that way. They went with, we're supposed to like this new trend. We were supposed to buy into this deal where Tommy Dreamer passes the hardcore torch to Edwards, and now he's the good guy, but he's still hardcore.
They did that little thing, didn't they?
Right, and then now Austin Aries, because he's introducing the bigger guy and the skullduggery. We're supposed to. It was kind of a double turn thing, I think. So I'm not huge into that, but I'm willing to see. I'm willing to watch it play out, see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm more involved in him now.
Exactly. I'm more interested in what Impact is doing. Speaking of Sami Callihan, they furthered his story a little bit. He's still a bit ashamed of having his head shaved, so he made a couple of his OVE tag partner. He made one partner shave his brother's head or whatever in a backstage segment. So he's establishing his authority or dominance, yes, over the OVE boys. I do like that LAX is continuing to brawl back and forth. They did like this really long brawl right at the like no opening credits or intro or talking segment. They just cut right to a brawl.
I love when they did that back in the day.
The old school. At some point, after like 5 minutes, finally some officials run in to try to break this thing up. One of the I believe it wasn't one of the OGs, just fucking power bombs a guy up against the wall, and he falls and like bangs his shoulder on the railing. It looked awful. So that was a fun thing.
Yeah, those teams have been beating the shit out of each other since that pay-per-view, man.
Yeah, I'm also digging Fallah Bah as like a mid-card, lower-card comedy guy. Him and his partner, I forget his name now, they'll be having a conversation. Fallah Bah doesn't say anything but bah. So, like, bah? So I'm digging that. That's fun. I'm digging the Scarlett Bordeaux storyline. She's the smoke show. Don't hot shame her. That whole thing.
Fallah Bah, was he the guy that I saw in the Battle Riot then?
Quite possibly.
I think so.
I believe so.
Okay, then I know who you're talking about. I don't know why. It just clicked in my head. I'm just like, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was there. Yeah. Yeah. He's a good time. Yeah, Scarlett Bordeaux made her quote unquote debut. She hasn't wrestled yet. She's been making appearances, pleading for people not to hot shame her, and she's been avoiding contact in the ring at all costs. She's going to get a talk show next week. She pitched this to Impact upper management, who stole a bit, by the way, from Being the Elite. Being the Elite's got this gimmick where the hands are just talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about this on Strong Honor too, obviously, but
hand gestures.
With the to say hand jobs.
You just see you don't see the executives' faces. You just see their hands making gestures, and they do the same bit on Being the Elite. So it was fun, though. I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Scarlett Bordeaux bringing the Carmella effect, the diva effect, back into Impact, and I like it because it's an interesting story because they're really pushing Tessa Blanchard really hard as kind of a badass heel right now. She's probably going to have a match with Allie coming up as Impact champion, but they're really pushing her hard. And I think eventually, if you build up to Scarlett Bordeaux, who's the pretty girl diva, versus Tessa Blanchard, the really tough woman, that could really turn that would really turn Tessa Blanchard babyface in a good way. Okay. I think. So I think that would be very interesting. So yeah, I'm kind of into it. So I'm enjoying what's been going on in Impact. A second ago, Joe, you talked about Battle Riot. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Change the subject.
MLW, their Fusion TV show, again on BN Sports, and you can watch it. It's on Friday nights on this BN Sports, and then 24 hours later, free on their YouTube channel. So.
Great Saturday morning watching.
Yeah, and a very easy 1 hour watch. Talk about the Battle Riot, Joe.
Oh, man. I love that they just blow their wad and they're just like, oh yeah, Pentagon and Phoenix are first. That's how they start the fucking match. I really liked the 60 seconds. There's just something about it. And it makes it more chaotic a little bit, adds a little bit more intrigue, and then you can get those giant spots, because I can't remember who they were trying to eliminate, but one guy was trying to eliminate, or like 5 guys were trying to eliminate a guy, and then they all eliminated themselves by eliminating the guy.
Right,
they all throw out.
Might have been. I don't think it was Fallout Bob, but it was one of them other big guys in there. Yeah, you had Jack Swagger in there. You had.
This was my first experience with Filthy Tom Lawler too.
Yeah.
That was I had fun with him. He was fun to watch.
Yeah, and he was a guy that came in early, went the distance, won the thing. So he.
Okay.
I was going to say how satisfying it was to see him choke out Kevin Sullivan, even though I know he's going so light on that old fucker. But just watching Kevin Sullivan not even run, like slowly make his way down to the... Why, dude? Stop.
Well, it was a 40-man, like a Royal Rumble situation. Like you said, every 60 seconds a new guy comes out. So that kept the action flowing, which was nice for a 40-man deal. So yeah, they had some
Oh, and Tony Schiavone. I'm sorry, I got to... It felt like I was a fucking kid again listening to WCW, because I can't remember what he did for WWE. He did some short vignettes. His voice just didn't sound the same. It sounded like he was losing it. Whereas him with Matt Stryker, great combo. Those two worked off each other well. You could tell Schiavone is a little bit behind on the times. Like he can't keep up on some of the moves or doesn't know the name, but Stryker covered him really well. It almost seemed like he got into a really good groove in that battle ride too, but it was fun to hear Schiavone.
Yeah, they did the Matt Stryker deal with Tony Schiavone 2 weeks in a row. This last week they're back to Rich Bocchini, the former Rich Brennan from WWE. So they're back to him with Tony Schiavone this week. I hope they bring back Matt Stryker though, because Matt Stryker gets a lot of heat for not being the best announcer, but I thought he complimented, like you said, Joe, complimented Tony Schiavone where he was weak. He could bring the knowledge in the move department and just talking about it like these are fighters and this is our sport, and just using phrases like that are just so comforting when you
not like Coach who's like, I want to see these two in an athletic competition.
Well, and just you get banged over the head with it so much that sports entertainment in this.
No, Coach actually said that during Raw one day. I want to see these two guys in an actual athletic match or bout or some shit.
No,
and Corey Graves had to catch him like, what are you talking about? They're in the middle of the ring right now. So that's the dumb shit that Coach brings to the table.
I don't watch the show, Paul. Why would I watch the show?
It's another reason why I'm hanging out with Brock Lesnar
it's
on
fucking
Mondays.
refreshing to actually hear them, treat them like athletes, fucking on commentary. That's what you're supposed to fucking do.
So a couple other things on that Battle Riot show. We had a debut of Myron Reed, and he took on that doesn't matter.
Something Brazil.
Koto Brazil.
Koto. I was gonna say Coco.
And then they crowned the first ever middleweight champion for MLW. It was Joey Ryan versus MJF. MJF, your first middleweight champion.
Wanted Joey Ryan to take that title, baby.
I have heard some criticism. Why have a middleweight champion when most of these guys are all the same size? Valid argument, but I do like having a secondary championship.
It's just there. Stop looking so much into the specifics of everything.
Different too. Middleweight, I like that.
So I don't want to run through all of the stuff on these shows, but just some highlights. Sami Callihan is taking credit for attacking Shane Strickland. Shane Strickland, the former MLW champion, lost to Low Ki because of Sami Callihan.
Really? Oh God, how was he
still got it? I fucking knew Taco was gonna go off.
It's like him and Jeff Jarrett. How do they fucking get these passes? God damn it!
I think Low Ki has a good relationship with I forget who runs the damn MLB now. He has a good relationship with him, so he's getting the push. He's in the main event. He's the champion. But let's see how it plays out because they're building back up to it. So let me see here. So we did have Shane Strickland versus Sami Callihan, but Callihan won with a pile driver after a bunch of skullduggery from the Death Machine. So this is a continuing story between Shane Strickland and Sami Callihan. And anytime you get Strickland and Callihan in the ring, it's a good match. This was a TV-style match, but, very good back and forth.
And Callihan, I'm sorry, he just kind of looks like a sack of shit, but man,
he
can put on a fucking good match.
Yeah, he's intense. He's hard-hitting.
Spits more than any man in sports entertainment.
He's disgusting. Sports entertainment is a banned term on this show. God damn it. So,
You're fired!
we got Brian Pillman Jr. all over this thing. Your favorite guy, Kevin Sullivan. Joe
I think he just signed with them like an official contract.
Sure, that would make sense.
Fuck Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan's trying to recruit Pillman Jr., but he's kind of hanging out with some other guys or whatever. We had some incognito footage of Callihan taking a payoff from Low Key. So Low Key's behind this whole Callihan Strickland nonsense anyway. Anywho, we had Jake Hager, the former Jack Swagger, taking on Simon Gotch in his weird chest.
He's going with Simon Gotch. That actually surprises me.
That surprised me too. What also is, I'm wondering if MLW has a quote unquote good relationship with WWE, because they're going with Simon Gotch here. The following this week on MLW TV, Shane Strickland challenges Sami Callihan to a War Games match that is happening September 6th. It'll probably air on the TV shortly after that. So early September, we are indeed getting a quote War Games, a trademark owned by WWE. They're going to put on their own NXT War Games again later this year.
I think there's a War Games and a War Space Games that are trademarked. Yeah, because I think the NXT has to have the non-space in between.
But
they released one too. It's I forgot to even bring it up, but they released a War Games match with Terry Funk and Steve Corino and shit like that from 2003 from MLW on their YouTube. So definitely worth a watch.
That might be it because MLW did some stuff in the early 2000s. Maybe there's some sort of copyright deal, but because they've done it before, they have a right to do it again, possibly. So there's something to that. Let's see. I'm trying to find out some other. On the 2 weeks ago show, they had a nice segment. They what do you call it? They had a video package on their top 10 on their top 10 heavyweights. I'm like, okay,
here is a heavy package.
It was interesting. I'll say that. Then this week on TV, despite having a top 10 heavyweights list, they had a number one contenders match between two of the random top 10 guys. So it wasn't your top 1, 2, or 3. So I thought that was a bit odd. Why do a top 10 list and then just pick two randos to have a number one contendership? So it was John Hennigan, a.k.a. Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, Johnny Lucha, whatever.
Johnny MLW.
Johnny MLW versus Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart is weird.
Yeah, he is.
You don't know if he's legit pissed off, legit has heat with somebody, legit has heat with the crowd, and that's kind of an interesting dynamic just watching him. And he's a maniac, which made this for a fun match to watch. Hennigan got the win with a leverage pin, so he's going to get a championship match versus Low Key at some point, which I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, Low Key is a bit of a maniac and, quote, a pain in the ass to deal with behind the scenes, but puts on really good, hard-hitting matches.
He's great.
And he comes off legit. His promos are good. He cut some promos on these shows, too. So, yeah, good stuff.
He's definitely, I was fucking the NXT season. I popped hard when he was on there, let alone winning the fucking damn thing.
In NXT?
Wasn't he Low Key there?
I thought it was Caval.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Caval.
Sami Callihan recruits Jimmy Havoc for his War Games team on this week's episode. We had Joey Janela versus MJF. Falls count anywhere for the middleweight title. MJF retained. Just a maniac fucking battle. The match starts in the back, and then it starts spilling out into the crowd, but the crowd doesn't realize there's a match going on yet.
This wasn't his last death match, was it? 'Cause I know Janelle just had one of those, but I don't think it was.
I think that might have been for a CZW or something else like that. This was just a falls count anywhere match. It wasn't really a death match. So And then the story here in this match is that Joey Janela's gal, Aria, turns on him at the end of the match and joins up with MJF. So we got a turncoat lady on our hands here, unfortunately. Team Filthy challenges the Stud Stable to a dojo fight. The Stud Stable is Colonel Robert Parker and the Dirty Blondes. So harkening back to some old school WCW stuff there, too. So they're going to have a dojo battle. Back in the training camp. That'll be interesting stuff there too. Kevin Sullivan's still trying to recruit Brian Pillman. The Lucha Brothers tear up contracts for MLW or something, I presume, but Conan is delighted about the Lucha Brothers tearing up whatever these contracts are. So yeah, you got Conan all over this show as well as Impact.
Yeah, and that's something as long as he doesn't get in the ring, yes. I am perfectly happy, but watching Conan in that Battle Riot was rough.
Right. Yeah, I think that'll be a very rare occasion, but him in the managerial role, I think is about as far as you're going to see it probably for Conan. All right, we've wasted time long enough. Let's get into these predictions, shall we?
Change the subject.
All right, where did my predictions stuff go? There.
It's in your butt.
It's been a while since we did some predictions. We're going to start off with SummerSlam. We're going to talk about all this stuff leading up to SummerSlam, of course, leading up to these matches. And the kickoff show. We got 13 matches on this show. 13. 2 on the kickoff show, one of which is not the Cruiserweight title match. But wait for that one to be changed. Who knows? So we got Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega.
Lana has not been using her Russian accent on the last couple weeks of SmackDown.
Yeah, she's gone.
That's the most interesting part about
Kofi Kingston on the bit here.
Yep.
Where'd your accent go?
It happens.
Who's called? Oh, I'm going Almas.
Oh yeah, it's got to be Almas. He's got the momentum, and I like that they're building him up this quickly.
I'll go Rusev. The B Team versus the Revival for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Raw Tag Team Championships made it to the pre-show. B Team's got some momentum, it sounds like. Sounds like the crowds are behind them. They got this new theme song that people are into.
Won the triple threat match on Raw.
Won the triple threat match. I guess I'll go B Team. It seems like where all the momentum is. Who do you guys?
Tommy has 0 fucks given.
I'm telling you.
Watch the show, Paul. Why would I watch the show?
I'm reading hunting magazines with Brock Lesnar. I don't like hunting magazines.
He was reading a highlight.
Thanks for coughing on me, Joe.
You're welcome.
What do you guys got in this one?
I'm going to actually go Revival pulling out a surprise win here. Like, B-Team's fine. They're going to beat him up. But I think that they dropped Revival so hard after what was it, Dash or Dawson busting his jaw?
Oh, yeah.
Either way, that I think a surprise win here wouldn't be bad. And you've got a feud here between the B-Team and the Revival. You got 2 guys that are just willing to beat the shit out of each other and 2 fucking goofballs. Let's just enjoy these 2 having fun. Revival.
Taco, did you make yours?
No, I'm definitely rooting for Revival on this one. I think B-Team's walking away out of it. It sounds like Hardy and Wyatt, one of them is maybe Hardy's wrapping it up or something. There's been some cryptic tweets going on. And
yeah, he's definitely been teasing that, hasn't he?
So who knows what the fuck's going on there. Hopefully, wish him the best.
Best of luck in his future endeavors. Cedric Alexander. We're talking main card now. We have 11.
No, this is pre-show.
11 matches on the main card now.
No, this is pre-show.
Main show.
No, it's pre-show. It's been confirmed.
Cedric Alexander for the. Has it been confirmed?
Yeah, they did the other night. I think it was on Raw.
Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship. I don't know. To me, and again, I missed 205 this week, but I've been trying to catch 205 most weeks. I like Drew Gulak. It doesn't quite feel like he's ready for the main spot yet, for the championship spot. But again, maybe I missed something this week. I'm gonna stick with Cedric Alexander here. Who do you guys got?
I'm going Gulak. I think they've built him up well as a good villain, as a good heel, and he doesn't. Besides the fact that there is skullduggery between him and his teammates, when he wrestles a match, he tears you apart. Like, he rips you apart leg by limb by limb. I think this is his time. I think he gets the big win at SummerSlam.
Yeah, what Cedric's had the thing, April, May, June, July, August, 3-4 months now, and nothing really to show. He's the guy that needs to be chasing the championship to really to scream out for it, and we already had that conclusion. Yeah. He's had his championship, and it's been awesome, but I want to see Gulak with that strap and defend it and just be mean and
make him tap out with the Gulak.
Exactly.
It's one of my favorite names.
Honestly, this is awesome for a pre-show. Fucking B Team's a good fucking tag team against Revival. That should be a good fucking match. Just give them some time. Let's slim down the fucking talking on the pre-shows and let's make this a thing.
My concern is with 3 matches on the pre-show and 10 on the main show, is anything going to have any time to be a good match?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question.
But it has that special early starting time.
But it's Super Slam. It's Summerfest. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. Nakamura been knocking it out as a heel, been doing pretty well. Jeff Hardy, cool face paint, and Randy Orton, RKO out of nowhere. They're trying to turn him heel. Randy Orton, is it working?
No.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sorry. The last image of SmackDown this week was just like Hardy
Hilarious.
beat somebody, but it's just Randy Orton standing behind like the announcer, and he's just standing there staring, and then he just slowly disappears behind the curtain, and you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Well, I think with the recent news coming out that they were kind of just suddenly not wanting to throw a bunch of Randy Orton out this week.
Jeez, that's a surprise considering he likes to rub his penis all over his hand and shake people's hands.
That's what he was doing behind the curtain. You didn't see his hands. One was rubbing his penis inside of his trunks.
No, that's the big scandal right now. If you've heard, but I don't think he's gonna be making a big SummerSlam appearance in this match.
Well, who do you guys got in this one? I'm gonna pick. I'm picking Nakamura to retain here. Jeff Hardy, he looks like he came back from injury too early. I don't know. It just looks like he needs a break. Although I'm digging the face paint.
I think you're correct. I think Shinsuke is gonna win, but he's gonna break Hardy. I've actually heard more rumors about the Hardys actually getting back together to do the Woken and the Brother Nero and all that stuff, just to get that in the last run.
The consumer of terrestrial entities.
He was more saying bye to Bray Wyatt as a tag team partner, and come here.
Taco, who do you got here?
Yeah, I got see that Orton thing was kind of on the borderline to me. So I don't I've been loving what Orton and Jeff Hardy have been doing. Like Orton just completely just fucking snapped. He's fucking getting moms, freaking out on the internet again with all the crazy shit he's been doing to Jeff Hardy. He's just fucking wiping his face paint. So it's just, he's being that maniacal Orton again. That's what we wanted to see. I'm glad it's just a one-on-one match with Nakamura and Hardy, though. I'm kind of hoping that they take some of the aggression that Orton's been doing and focus it more on Nakamura now at this point, and just kind of not low blow, kind of the Nakamura we're used to. But I kind of want to see him be a badass in this match, and just I want a good match out of these two. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be the Orton RKO skullduggery. Nakamura retains or DQ or whatever, so could be. Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, 3-way for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Joe's best of the week. Who do you got in this one, Joe?
As much as I hate to say it, it's time for your girl to win the title. I think Becky Lynch is walking out with that title after all this. I think somehow it's going to be like Charlotte Flair hits natural selection and Becky Lynch tosses her out and takes the title away from Charlotte. That could be the start of, Charlotte turning heel or Becky Lynch turning heel.
Sounds violent.
Taco, who do you got in this one?
I got fucking Mella walking out on top.
She is money,
Mella is money. She is straight fire. I'm so glad that she fucking owned that shit on SmackDown when Charlotte called her a diva. She's like, you damn right I am. I got this, and this, and this championship belt that you don't have either. So it's just fucking, she's been killing it for me. I'm loving it. I think she's going to do the skullduggery, fucking weasel her way out of a pinfall and actually walk away with the championship. For me, for Becky Lynch to walk out with the championship, I want her in a one-on-one match, and we can get that, and then we can get Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair at Evolution.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I think it's going to be I don't necessarily think it's going to be skullduggery on the part
Just like
of Carmella.
like Weasley, like Miz kind of shit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch butting
They're
heads.
focused on each other, and
Right,
not Mella.
and Carmella will capitalize on the situation, walk away with the title that way. That is also my prediction. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. They've been building this thing up forever. Great video packages on
Yes.
SmackDown this
Yes.
week. Really, that was like my favorite part.
So you watched SmackDown, not Raw.
I did watch
Good,
SmackDown.
good man.
I did watch SmackDown, but yeah, I loved those video packs. That could have been if I would have went if it wasn't G1 week, my best of the week probably would have been those video packages for this build up. Just tremendous work by both, cutting promos in the back. Love both of them. Just
Yes.
bringing like points that make sense from both guys. Like if you're on the Miz side of the argument, you can completely get behind him as well as Daniel Bryan. I think the finish of this match might have something to do with whether or not Daniel Bryan has re-signed his contract.
That's why this match was hard to choose a winner, because
Yeah.
the package has been great, the feud has been great. Yeah, it's fucking the only like long-term feud WWE has, and it's been played so fucking well. And it's just the contract, Miz said it best, talking about the Talking Smack segment. He went in there, with permission to kind of let loose on Daniel Bryan. He's like, okay, I'm going balls to the wall, and he was expecting a legit smack in the face. And
Yeah.
he said that Daniel Bryan walking away from the set was like the greatest gift he could, Daniel Bryan ever gave him. It's like, yeah, man, like this fucking feud is just great. Like there is a certain level of respect between these two guys that we don't see on television, and that's great. It's perfect. That's how it should be. That's why these are the classic feuds.
And whether it's a war, maybe these guys are best friends behind the scenes. Probably not. But I mean, with all of this stuff just playing into that history, makes it just when you.
They're both smart guys,
right? Yeah, it just plays into the story, makes it more interesting. It's not some bullshit made up like the Samoa Joe and AJ Styles BS that we'll get into shortly here. But there's some actual history here.
I see these two guys having more in line than fucking Daniel Bryan and Cena. That just to me was always just fucking weird. Outside of them dating the Bellas or being married kind of to them. It's just Daniel Bryan and Cena just like sitting around drinking coffee with Laurinaitis is the weirdest fucking shit to me. Like to me, Daniel Bryan and Miz eating quinoa makes more sense.
Well, if Daniel Bryan goes back to the Indies, he won't have to worry about doing Total Bellas anymore. So there's that. I don't know who to pick here. The natural story is Miz punching him in the face, getting the satisfying win. But if this is an ongoing, that's the thing is, even if it is an ongoing feud, Daniel Bryan might get the win, and then so if Daniel Bryan wins and Miz attacks post match, and there's more story to tell because that's how WWE is doing it these days. Maybe Daniel Bryan signed the contract. If Miz wins outright and proves everybody wrong or whatever, that might be a sign that Daniel Bryan's leaving. But if Daniel Bryan just wins clean, I don't know. Any way you slice it, it could be Daniel Bryan's leaving or staying. Who knows? I'm going with the most satisfying story, going with my heart. I want Daniel Bryan to punch him in the face and get the win. That's what I'm going with. Who do you guys got here?
I'm going Bryan as well. I think he gets that win. I think, as weird as it sounds, I know the guy wants to wrestle, but the guy does care about his family, and that's a big paycheck they're going to be offering him.
That's true. I mean, they've got more money than ever right now. Another reason why I'm just like, meh on WWE, especially like Raw. It's like I can't stand a lot of Raw, and I see arenas full of people, and I see, in bed with Saudi Arabia, and all this money coming into WWE, $500 million deal with Fox. SmackDown's moving to Fox next year. Everybody's giving WWE so much money. And so there's no reason for them to say, what do we need to change to get better? They're already doing the best they can do, which is why I'm like, I don't watch the show, Paul. Why would I watch the show? So,
I hate to say, though, WWE has always been the same fucking product, whether it was 1986, 1996, 2006, or 2006. It's been the same shit, rinse and repeat. Overly muscular fucking dudes fucking throwing each other around, stupid fucking storylines, cookie cutter shit. It's just attitude era. We got fucking beer and middle fingers being thrown around, fucking dead guys and cool shit for once. But it was still the same shit. It's just, people need to get it out of their fucking heads. It's just like, we do have options now. It's called the internet, and it's fucking grand.
I should stop complaining because
it just sucks because we have to fucking make these sponsorships fucking happy. That's what the downside is. It's not WWE. It's them wanting to make this money. There's a reason why Kevin Owens is re-signing a fucking contract. He has mouths to fucking feed.
Oh, he's always wanted to be in WWE anyway.
All of them do, though. But it's just, right now, if this was like fucking, let's just, if this wrestling renaissance wasn't happening right now, chances of Young Bucks and Kenny Omega signing with WWE way more likely than it would be with this boom of wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Shows are selling out all over the fucking country. Madison Square Garden's fucking selling out all over the country. I can't even go to the fucking VFW show in Minneapolis now because that shit is selling out constantly. And that's just from our local school. Yeah, it's fucking beautiful to see, though.
I hear the TNA is hiring.
Just WWE is its own fucking world.
No, you're right. And I shouldn't rant on complaining about it because I've moved on. Like if I don't feel like watching something, I'm not going to watch it because there's a lot of other cool stuff that I want to watch. So, but here's the thing: I'm not one of these guys that's I'm going to cancel my network subscription. I'm not that idiot. I'm interested in some of this stuff. I'm going to watch. I'm going to pick and choose the stuff I want to watch from SummerSlam. I'm watching NXT. I love NXT. So it's
Monday Night Raw has always been the fucking background movie to me, though. Like, going about my evening, fucking just have her on the background.
That's a good way to do it, I think.
They killed it this week, though. For a go-home Raw, I had a great fucking time. Like, I fucking did not watch on a Monday night. I just wanted to play Fallout 4, to be honest with y'all. and I, fucking watched it the next day, expecting me just to kind of skip through it. I kind of wanted to pay some attention because Renee fucking killed it.
Yeah,
she was
did.
great on Raw.
Sure.
She was a breath of fresh air. Like I said earlier, with Coach saying all this fucking dumb shit. I want to see these two guys in an athletic competition. What do you think they're here for, Coach? I don't want to hear your fucking... You're not above the WWE. You're not with ESPN anymore. You're not even good enough for fucking Fox. So what the fuck are you saying out there? Listening to Renee Young this week was like just refreshing. She had, she reacted to the events out there.
She questioned Corey on a regular basis.
There was talking back and forth. Did she, does she need to sharpen up some corners? Yeah, this was her first fucking time.
Did she say, shut up, Graves?
No.
But, to me, it showed me that Michael Cole wasn't a problem. People like Coach on the problem. Like, encouraging that kind of behavior is a problem to me. Like, they do need to push the envelope. And they, they have all this stupid fucking Saudi money. Oh, yeah, they're doing the first ever women's... People can't even be happy for that. The fucking WWE first women's pay-per-view. Oh, there's going to be all this fucking bullshit going on. Who cares? Fucking this baby steps. Over time, we're slowly getting there. Look at 205. It took fucking time for that to really get on its feet. It's slowly getting there. NXT, that was not an overnight success. Fucking, it was kind of nice seeing the old NXT packages and Daniel Bryan be like, it was different back then. It was trash back then. So it's just, God, you can only take, I don't know. I fucking went on a long rant.
No, that's fine, and that makes sense because, like you have a passion for WWE, and that makes sense. And I have a passion for pro wrestling, and sometimes it plays into what WWE does, and sometimes it doesn't play into what WWE does. And again, I shouldn't necessarily go off on a rant complaining too much about WWE because there's so much other stuff to watch. Why sit and bitch about it? It's like it's like people on Twitter that just that are just constantly negative. I got no fucking time for it. I got if you're gonna go on something and just spout negativity, fuck that. I got no time for that.
And it's just like, look at like the scene right now. It's just like, oh, WWE's just snatching everyone up. Not really, because a new cream of the crop is rising up. I'm finding more fucking names because of this shit.
Well, that's the thing. Even if they do quote snatch everybody up, which they're going to try to do as much as possible, it opens up doors, more opportunities for other people.
And they're doing a global thing like they've always talked about. You know, that fucking NXT UK shit.
Well, that is some predatory shit, but yeah.
Well, it's them doing something different, though. It's not a Raw versus SmackDown as our answer anymore. It's, we got UK guys going on over here. We got the Americas group going on here. I want to see a fucking Asia, group.
Well, and you're
it's
right.
good.
And you're right in the fact that once these UK shows start happening and they end up on the WWE network, that is another alternative to what Raw and or SmackDown are. It's like, well, I don't like these flavors, but I do like these flavors.
And look what these performance centers have been doing for these people too. Like they're turning gold into these fucking people. Where the Ring of Honor dojo has been around for a while, but no one's been really sticking out over time to me.
Nobody's talking about the Ring of Honor dojo.
Exactly.
Well, again, even just the other day, I saw a tweet. Lance Storm's like, spending the next couple days here, and it's the WWE Performance Center. How many people are willing to come in and just train and show these young kids, like they said, molding champions, molding characters, molding wrestlers,
Look at Charlotte then, look at Charlotte now. Look at Lacey Evans then, look at Lacey Evans now. There's progression there.
Yes.
Cool.
What were we What were we talking about again?
Miz and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I think you never got in your prediction.
Oh, I'm going Miz.
I knew it. I knew it.
Miz, it's perfect for Miz to win this right now. It's the biggest fucking stage. He's been talking the most shit. Daniel Bryan has the most confidence right now, and just fucking Daniel Bryan getting all of his fucking moves in. Everyone's fucking hard sinking themselves into this fucking match, just for fucking Miz to hit a skull crushing finale and get the one clean 1, 2, 3.
Oh, he's not winning clean.
I hope he does, because people's hearts are just gonna fucking sink. And
I'll say this.
Will cry.
I'll say this: if he wins clean, I predict if he wins clean, no skullduggery, Daniel Bryan will show up at All In.
Not enough time.
No, it's not enough time because his contract ends on that day. So
I'm guessing he's got the 90-day.
I believe it's a 6. It's probably 90-day.
I know. To me, like, what. There's future in this match with gold on the line. That's when Daniel Bryan wins.
My favorite thing, though, when Daniel Bryan got interviewed about this whole situation, and somebody asked him, "Do you think WWE will be able to stretch this feud out to WrestleMania?" Daniel Bryan did the same thing. He laughed and said, "There's no way WWE can stretch. They can't stretch anything out. Well, either that, or they will stretch it out till it means nothing, like they did with like Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt a couple of years ago. Nakamura Styles, and make it just go on and on and on until you're sick of it. So you could do that. But I mean, from now until next year, till April of next year, for like 9 months,
that ain't happening.
I don't think so. Either way, here's the thing: we spent all this time kind of going back and forth. I've been talking about how I've not been into WWE. You're obviously into this, or into all of it. I'm into this match, and I mean, look, but that's it. As much as I'm disgruntled with some WWE stuff, I'm still into like half the stuff on this.
But
card.
They're doing something right, though. You're not happy with Raw. You're watching SmackDown.
Correct. I'm watching NXT. I'm interested to see.
Feel like two different fucking shows, and that's good.
Yeah, and I would talk about NXT, the Mae Young Classics coming up. I'm into that. So it's not. Again, I'm upset at some things that involve WWE, and it's mostly creative stuff. It's not. It is what it is.
It's always been a long-running issue too.
Right. 3-hour Raws. It's the same old bullshit. So Either way, let's move on. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. I've liked what they've been doing with this feud. You've got the skullduggery with Drew McIntyre in play here, possibly. Anyway, I've been liking this match. I really want to see it go back to Rollins, but I'm not really sure. Again, without having seen the developments recently.
I don't watch the show, Paul.
Well,
Why would I watch the show?
I don't know if you heard.
Well, why don't we go with your predictions first, and then I'll just base mine off of what you guys say.
But there was a stipulation in the contract saying that, you could have someone out there, i.e. Ziggler can have him out.
I heard about this. That's right.
So obviously, but
the return of Dean Ambrose.
The Dean Ambrose, fucking beefed up Dean Ambrose, the fucking monster looking Dean Ambrose.
Heard he got his ears lowered a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I'm going with Rollins. Rollins gets the big wins at these big pay-per-views, and I think with Dean Ambrose at his side, he'll get that win.
Dean Ambrose neutralizing the
Skullduggery
of Drew McIntyre.
Interesting. Taco, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, definitely. It feels like with Ambrose returning that Rollins needs to pull out the victory on this. But oh god, I don't know. I want to keep it on Ziggler at this point. It's just I've been enjoying him. It's just been suiting him a little bit more look wise. Just I love this the cocky heel that he's been doing this time. It has an old school flair to me.
Straightened his hair this week.
His hair. Yeah, fucking McIntyre just being his big beefy muscle. It's just this is that's a tag match I'm looking forward to. Is those two guys? To be honest with you, and I said on a podcast before, I'm looking down the road when McIntyre and Ziggler finally split up. That's going to be a hell of a feud there for, hopefully the Intercontinental. I feel like Rollins is kind of above it at this point. He's done what he can do with it, and I kind of want to see him, going for that number one spot again.
Well, I guess, it's really...
Especially with Ambrose coming back, get that Shield trilogy WrestleMania right there.
I'm just going to go with my heart here. I'm just going to pick Rollins. That's who I want to win here. I really liked him having the belt, fucking taking it to Monday Night Raw every week. Let's do some challenges with this. Take on all comers kind of a thing. So you could set up a feud versus him and McIntyre now and take it up a bit, because I think ultimately McIntyre with the IC title would be a good thing, even if it ends up back on Dean Ambrose or something as well. Right. That could be a good way to go. How about Ambrose going heel on Rollins? Granted, he just came back. I don't want to advocate for that, because the guy just came back. He's over like hell. Why work against the crowd and turn the guy heel? Although I think he would be a really good heel.
Absolutely.
But maybe wait a year or something. I don't know, because the crowd's going to be hot for him anyway. So yeah, I'm just going with my heart on some of these picks. I'm gonna go with Rollins, I think. Sounded like... All right, we'll move on. Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't think has anybody ever lost the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Kennedy.
Kennedy!
I think it was Punk, wasn't it? No, Edge.
Edge took it from him.
Lost.
I think he had an injury and he fucked up.
I think it was steroids.
Sure. So not a lot of history of somebody losing the briefcase. I think
it's only they've only defended it once, that one time. That's the only time it's been defended.
Okay. But interesting here, because Braun Strowman's not a guy that necessarily needs the briefcase to be over, and certainly could earn his own title shot as a badass monster babyface. And I would like to see Kevin Owens running around with the briefcase. I think that would be a good story for him. But then, if you're going to do that, why not just have him win the match back when they had the match? So I don't know here. It feels like Braun Strowman's keeping it. I don't know.
I think he is. I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody's trying to predict it, but I would love to see Brock Lesnar win, have that big shit-eating grin on his face, and just hear fucking just come out and just see that fucking smile disappear. There's not many people that would happen with Brock Lesnar.
I'm not like most men.
So yeah, it could go that way. It couldn't. It doesn't. But I'm picking Braun Strowman. I think he keeps that briefcase. I like him having the briefcase. It's just fun. It's always a heel that gets the briefcase.
This is my briefcase. It's where I keep my business papers.
all my papers, you
I
know.
just want him to open it up once, and there's a contract, and maybe like just a chunk of cheese and an apple.
He takes the apple has a couple of bites out of it. He takes one more bite and puts it back and says, "I'm not finished with you."
No, it's all of Brock Lesnar's copies of hunting magazines. He stole them from his house. I'm not scared of you.
Taco, who do you got in this one?
I'm going to give my results when we do the main event.
Okay, I really like Joe's scenario where he keeps it and then just takes the belt from Lesnar at the end of the night. But I'm gonna go. The theme of today's show. My coach's word of the hour is heart. I'm going with my heart. I want to see it on Kevin. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen because the whole build up for this has been Braun Strowman getting disqualified and counted out. It's like how many different ways can he get disqualified
That's
and
the
counted out?
stipulation too.
Well, right. So if he loses it via one of those, he could lose it to Kevin Owens, and that would be the. It's not like Kevin Owens is going to pin fucking Braun Strowman. God forbid.
I love that Braun Strowman's run around the ring has now turned into many different variations, because this week on SmackDown, him using one of the Singh brothers as a fucking ram into Jinder Mahal.
He just fucking one hand picks him up, throws him over his shoulder, and just like lobs him over. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I want Owens. I can't even in my own right mind, the way WWE bangs it into your head. He got disqualified. He got counted out. He's keeping fucking briefcase. That's all there is to it. Did you get yours in here, Talk? Oh, you're saving.
I'm gonna do it during the main event.
Saving yours. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The fucking Bludgeon Brothers, man.
Bludgeon Brothers.
Taking on Triple Threat this week.
Yeah, I did see that. That was obnoxious. Boy,
You know how I love my squash matches.
here's the thing. I like that they did a tournament to build up to this. I was really rooting for the bar in this, man. The
Me
bar,
too.
The bar has just been kind of on the back burner since going over to SmackDown. I mean, yeah, the New Day's cool. Flapjacks, pancakes, whatever. They won the thing. So it feels like they've told this story before. But the Bludgeon Brothers just feel like who cares? You know?
I fucking love
I
him.
enjoy them.
Yeah. All right, but it's
I
just
love the ridiculous. It's just that's WWE, man. Like crazy fucking characters over the top, fucking mayhem. Like,
yeah. So I'm going to pick the Bludgeon Brothers to retain here. Who do you guys have here?
Yeah, I feel like the Bludgeon Brothers are going to hold these for a really long time. There's not, minus the fact that you're going to get a few challenges between the Bar, New Day, and I guess maybe even throwing Insanity there. That would be a really good match between those two. I just feel like they're going to keep these guys on this roll, on this run, just destroying tag teams. They've done it to New Day before. Bludgeon Brothers.
yeah, I'm the same. I'm like them as a dominant force. I was kind of bummed out on SmackDown this week, seeing that was Triple Threat. You said I thought that was totally gonna be a Sanity match, and then they come out. I'm like, okay, and then Sanity comes out and loses to New Day. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, I'm liking the Bludgeon Brothers. I'm glad they were able to kind of successfully bring them away from the Wyatt family mentality, because that's always gonna be on the back of my mind, is seeing them. You know, if they didn't change to this Bludgeon Brothers thing, like, well, I want to see them with Bray again. You know, can we get that going on? No, I thought they did good separating them from that.
See, that's the thing, is I've never kind of gotten like, this just seems like we're going to restart these guys, and it's never really quite clicked with me. It's like they're just guys with hammers.
And what about, like, I don't like
Brothers.
hairy backs as much as anybody, but why did they put fucking Killian Dane in the singlet?
So angry about that.
Oh, damn it, you got to cover up that fucking belly. God, he's so fat.
But, like, it was such a good part of his character. He's Scottish. He's
Yeah.
wearing a fucking kilt.
That fur is bituminous of you.
But, like, and then he fucking comes out in a fucking singlet.
He's gonna puke.
He's gonna poop.
That's I thought the same thing. Like, why did they take away this guy's gimmick and put him in like a navy blue singlet?
Yeah,
Like,
it was very, very awkward.
I'm just hoping it broke. It broke right before the match, and they weren't able to repair it. But I know I'm wrong.
I'm just hoping we get a good fucking match. I get some time on this match. Not like, I hope they don't WrestleMania us where it's like, cool, New Day, Usos. Oh, nothing.
yeah, there's only 11 matches on this card.
It's just like, yeah, there's
plenty
just
of
like
time.
a lot of these
6
matches
hour
on
show.
paper. It's like, man, this should be fun, but it's not. It's either going to be short, quick in some of these cases. So, you know, I want to see these two teams tear each other up.
Speaking of too many matches, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. Why is this on the pay-per-view?
Whoa, buddy. That's Constable Corbin.
My bad.
Pay
Constable,
your respect.
The Constable Baron Corbin. I don't. What's your prediction?
Balor's gonna take this one. I'm pretty sure that Corbin's got a couple wins on him right now. That's all I got.
Why wouldn't he? He's the Constable.
I've been digging him as a constable. He's finally
It's better than what he was doing before.
exactly, and he just has such a new confidence about himself too. It's definitely it's definitely shining through just his ring work. So Corbin's been stepping up to the plate, and I'm a known fucking like naysayer on Corbin. So I've actually been having fun with this Balor Corbin feud. I just wish it was more meaningful, but I expect Balor to walk out.
Well, since
I don't watch the show, Paul. Why would I watch the show?
I'm just going to plead the fifth on this. I have no idea where to go, and my investment level is really low. So
I
like the turd
understand.
burglars.
Well, and you're talking to a guy. I was a huge fan of Corporate Kane, him coming out in them slacks and wrestling in the shoes.
You mean Mayor Kane now.
So the Constable Corbin thing, it's working for me. No gear, he's just rocking the
crisis because he does all those screaming karate moves.
That is a classic.
Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. I am looking forward to this one. I just want
Wow.
I want to see.
Wow, you are so wrong.
I want to see Ronda Rousey just beat the snot out of Alexa Bliss. I just need it. I need it so hard because I know Carmella's going to come out on top of the SmackDown women's side of the thing. That's the natural story. Ronda Rousey just beat the shit out of fucking Alexa Bliss. She's a diva. Beat the diva out. No more divas. Get the divas out, please. That's all I'm saying.
I hope we finally get what I've been wanting to get between these two, and that's fucking Ronda Rousey slapping that fucking armbar on her and fucking Alexa Bliss popping her arm out.
Yeah,
Fucking, I'm excited for that spot
That's
again.
gonna
Like, I
happen.
think she's gonna do some Weasley shit out of this one, but this one should be a fucking quick one. But it should be fun. Rousey's been doing okay in the ring. She just she needs
she hasn't.
She needs to slow down like half a second though. Like she's throwing some of these ladies down on the mat like she's gonna fucking throw them through it. It's like, dude, you're gonna hurt somebody. Like,
Yeah,
please
she's really
don't.
I
But-
thought Alicia Fox was fucked up
But
from
she
Monday.
I think someone is telling her that clearly telling her that in the back because she did this week. You could tell she's pacing herself a little bit better. So it's just she gets too excited. So, but
that's
she's
a
an
sign
expert.
of being green. Yeah, for sure.
But she's good. She just needs to get in that that repetition, and I think this will be a little bit more of a surprise.
Well, I'm going with the overrated, overhyped rookie on this one. Who do you guys got?
Bliss.
Okay.
Fuck Rousey. I'm sorry. She doesn't have her own character. She's working off of a dead person's character, for one. I know she got the respect and the hand down of the whole Rowdy thing, but this is a garbage character. Garbage. She has no personality and no edge for it, besides the fact that she was in the UFC and is a legitimate fighter. That's it. Like, it bugs me so much. Like, Rousey is my Lesnar.
Wow, that's a soundbite.
I'm just so over it. She's done absolutely no real wrestling. All she's done is her fucking judo flips and putting people in arm bars, and it's not that impressive. At least with Brock Lesnar, I get a fucking F5 through
She has
something.
like the best judo and arm bar. And you're saying not impressive. What the fuck?
No, it has nothing to do with the moves not being impressive. It's the fact that that's all she has done. That is it.
He wants her to develop this new personality where she steals feces from people.
I'm down for that.
He wants the turd burglar.
I like the turd burglars.
I'm just sick of all this Rousey hype, and there's just nothing there for me. There's nothing for the character, and there's nothing for her wrestling right now.
Okay. So you're picking Bliss then?
Yes, I am.
Right, I guess I'm alone picking Rousey on this one. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe.
Man, fuck AJ Styles. I'm just kidding.
I think the popular pick right now might be Samoa Joe. AJ's held that championship for quite a long time. Feels like it would maybe stir things up a little bit on the SmackDown side of things.
Well, and
Possibly.
AJ would be able to see his family. It would work out for everybody.
I was care about his family.
I was talking about this earlier. This seems like reaching a bit when these two have a long history with each other. It seems odd that you bring the family and the quote-unquote letter from the wife thing in. It felt a little TNA-ish Claire Lynch to me.
Very weird ending to a SmackDown, too. Very lackluster.
Yeah.
Like, I had to rewind it. I was like, wait. What's going on?
I
Why is
think-
Miz on my screen now?
I'm pretty sure WWE agreed with you because they released like one of those after videos of like AJ Styles losing it in the back, and AJ Styles is being held back by like 4 or 5 wrestlers. Joe's just standing there in a suit taunting him, like just yelling shit at him.
Does he put the microphone in his back pocket again?
Oh man, I didn't.
With this fucking polo shirt and the suit coat over the polo? The fuck? Who's dressing this man? He still pulls
If that's
it.
the one good thing we got of it, while the subject matter isn't great, their delivery is still perfect for everything. Like, I mean, Joe is the perfect fucking heel.
I think Joe would be a good, cocky heel champion. I think it's time for that change. I'm picking Joe here.
I'm also going Joe.
Samoa Joe.
God, I'm going Styles. Ooh, fucking, who has Hell in a Cell?
What do you mean?
That's
They're combined now. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, it's all
Shut
shows.
up, dude. They're all super shows.
Styles and Joe, Hell in a Cell, man. Ooh. That's where Joe walks out.
Well, even if Joe wins, they'd have a
rematch, yeah.
clause. So either way,
that's a win for us.
yeah, that'd be cool. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Bop, 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 bop.
All
All right.
I've been waiting to hear this, Taco.
Well, should we build up to it? Should we let Taco go last since he's got the epic
fine.
prediction that
I
goes?
guess I do have it up. I guess.
Well, no, you go first then.
No, you're fucking hyping it up. You're the fuckers that put it on a pedestal. You mastered this shit.
You already heard my prediction, really. As weird as it sounds, I still feel Brock is going to win this match.
I'm going with the turd burglars.
I like the turd burglars.
Here's the thing. I'm intrigued. I want to know what's going on. They built up the Paul Heyman thing pretty well, right? Where they built a little intrigue into it. Is Paul Heyman going to turn on Brock Lesnar and go with Roman Reigns?
That.
But right, they took all that question away this week, allegedly. But they could always Russo it and go back to it, right? Right? No. But I guess there's a little something there. Maybe Brock. I don't know. I don't know.
I like the turd burglars.
The turd burglars.
I have no idea what's going to happen. I want to see what's going to happen.
Part of me, looking at that Money in the Bank, part of me wants Kevin Owens to win it and then come out and then completely fuck Roman Reigns. Just fucking, like, you're still not getting it. I'm taking your moment. Finally, we get Kevin Owens in the main spot. Then we get Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns. There's your fucking feud for, the next couple months or whatever.
Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins is.
Exactly. We can get there eventually. Me, personally, I want Lesnar to fucking retain. Just fucking lay the stamp down on fucking Reigns. Fucking keep that Universal title. And that's when Strowman's music hits and cashes in the briefcase. But it's fucking Brock Lesnar, and if this is Lesnar's big exit from the WWE, I'm expecting too much out of him. I know I am. I think I want 2 matches out of him this fucking night. Like, obviously it's not gonna be a long match against Strowman, but I do want to see like Lesnar kind of hold his fucking foot down against Strowman to defeat that. But he just fucking had to fight Roman Reigns. That's why he loses.
Yeah, you get that first kick out.
That keeps Brock Lesnar a strong fucking monster on his exit out of WWE. Lets him go do his fucking UFC shit, and then he can. If he wants to come back again, he's still Brock fucking Lesnar.
So you're going with Strowman getting it.
I'm going with Reigns retains, and then Strowman fucking walks out with it. Yes.
Okay.
That's where I'm at too.
All right, so you guys essentially have the same thing. That's a good story. I like that.
That's how I want it to be played.
I like
out,
that. I like that.
I didn't have any idea on the match like that. But that's a great idea.
That's how I want it played out, though. Either Kevin Owens fucking Reigns over, Reigns finally, getting
like
his
that, too.
redemption.
I like Kevin
but
Owens.
fucking Kevin Owens being that fucking dickhead, fucking getting his fucking Celine Dion song and then walking out with the Universal Champion of
Shania
SummerSlam.
Twain.
Or Shania Twain, excuse me. What did I say?
Celine Dion.
Well, she's Canadian too.
And she's also a lady.
Well, and here's the thing. Like,
Lady Taco.
going back to one of the, it was CM Punk. One of his cash in on Jeff Hardy was one of the ones that I enjoyed the most because CM Punk hits him with a go to sleep right away and Jeff kicks out. We get a couple more minutes out of that. But he gets that one more so in the same sense of Taco, seeing Brock Lesnar kick out of one of those power slams, just that first one, that's gonna set people fucking crazy at SummerSlam.
Just them fucking just shaking in anger at each other, like yes, like Brock's fucking red from wrestling already. A 3-minute match.
Yeah, that could be pretty good. All right, let's move on.
Change the subject.
Let's talk about this NXT Takeover Brooklyn.
NXT.
So, SummerSlam's got, 11, 12, 13 matches total.
How many do we got on NXT, Tommy?
5.
Keep it solid.
So, yeah, looking forward to this. I am saddened that Aleister Black got taken out of it, only because I was really hoping to save the Gargano Ciampa one-on-one match for later down the line again. Like, it feels like they just did this again, Like, it felt like we were moving away from these two one-on-one, and it was supposed to be a three-way, and then come back to this whatever date, maybe WrestleMania or whatever.
I'm honestly kind of glad it's not a three-way.
So, well, I mean, there's both sides of it, too. So, that's the thing is I wanted to see this play out a little bit because I feel like they were going to tell more to the story here, and we'll see how it plays out on Saturday. But we'll get into that. Let's start with the Velveteen Dream versus EC3. Last week reminded me of something we did earlier. Remember? So, okay. Remember we talked about this earlier. We did the TNA. What did we do?
TNA trivia with Impact.
With Impact. This was probably a couple of years ago, and this is when EC3 and Drew McIntyre were there. And one of the questions was something about a rooftop poolside summit. And so
That's right. I think it was with Lashley. Thank you. Never mind.
Yeah, so what is with EC3 doing poolside summits? Because that's what we got last week with the fucking Velveteen Dream. And who ended up in the drink? Was it Velveteen?
It was Velveteen.
Yeah. So
it was very, just overly cheesy, campy. You can definitely tell that what Jeremy Borash is.
Jeremy Borash was all over that.
It's just between
with his
that
fucking
shit
drone
and then fucking the shit that they're doing with Aleister Black. It's just they're losing me a little bit. Honestly, I'm not liking this. Like, to me, it's just fucking clear what the downside of Impact was, and he's now working in WWE. Like I like everything that was wrong with Impact is now in WWE, and everybody's hating on WWE, and Impact is just fucking rising to the top.
Well,
that's a head scratcher to me. Sorry.
Well, let's talk about what they did this week on NXT, because I actually really liked it. Fucking Velveteen Dream, and is what is Canadian tuxedo.
Yep.
And what they did in the ring was different.
Yeah. Well, at EC3 with the line of the night, this is what it sounds like when doves cry. That was so good, so good. So
you can even tell the crowd too was like a subtle like, oh yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like I'm not really sure who I'm supposed to like. Who's the heel? Who's the babyface? Like, and I like that. I like a little bit of what are we doing here? Because I kind of like both of these guys, and I'm kind of into both, but I also kind of don't like both. It's like
even EC3 when he was that quick weak feud with Kona Reeves, it was all like, aren't you supposed to be the heel? You're a dick, but I'm rooting for you right now, and that's not how you were a month ago, dude.
There was kind of a subtle almost turn with EC3, and the crowd's kind of been behind Velveteen anyway. But even Velveteen was like, "Oh, that's funny that you cheer for the Dream today on NXT." He
stays the bad guy though.
So yeah, it's
just he's good.
It's interesting. So I'm not really sure who I'm rooting for here.
I know who I am.
But I think Velveteen's been losing quite a bit lately, so it almost feels like he kind of needs some momentum to kind of stay in that spot. Because if he loses here again, where does that put that puts him pretty low on the losers bracket.
I know No Way Jose has a really good losing streak, and he's main roster material now.
No way.
Jose Canseco.
Well,
He's thinking about entering wrestling. Jose Canseco.
oh, good for him. Maybe him and David Arquette can team up on them training lessons. So yeah, I'm not sure which way to go here. I'm gonna go with Velveteen on this one. Who do you guys got?
I got Velveteen just because I think this is the big, takeover win he finally gets.
I'm going EC3 because I feel like he's the one that needs a win more than Velveteen. No matter what Velveteen does, he's going to be Velveteen Dream. That crowd's going to cheer for him as he's knocking on him.
One other thing I wanted to bring up in this thing, this whole thing stemmed back from the UK tournament deal where Velveteen, got an injury, quote unquote, in the match and walked away from the match, so leaving EC3 stranded. So a heel move, whatever, by Velveteen Dream, but maybe he was injured, da-da-da-da-da. So plausible deniability there. But then EC3 shoves him in the pool. That's a dick move. So now EC3's the dick. So now
He did not shove him in the pool. Dream attacked him and he lobbed him in the pool.
okay, whatever. so then this week, Velveteen Dream is cutting his promo or whatever, and he says, you got on the Dream's bad side. By what? Throwing him in the pool? You're the guy that left him high and dry at the
got his hair wet,
at the
dude.
Royal Albert
Seriously,
Hall.
you don't get a black man's hair wet.
I
don't.
don't know. Okay, well, maybe that's probably a valid point. I mean, he does do a lot of work on his hair, and EC3 famously has a fucking hot mess for a haircut up there.
Dude, he's the top 1%. That's like an $80 haircut.
No, the fade is tight, but whatever's going on on the top there, that's
super
a
tight.
mess.
He was wearing some awesome kicks.
That's all shit show on top. I don't know what's going on there.
So bituminous of
So
you.
all three of us are going VD on this one, right?
No, I got EC3.
He said EC3.
Oh,
I said, yeah, he needs the win.
You got EC3.
I got VD.
We both
EC3
Have you,
loses, he looks like a chump.
isolated that yet? I've said it like 6 times now.
both Joe and I need protection. So.
BD.
Wow, that's a soundbite.
Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Man, these two teams have had just really great matches back and forth. The fucking throwing in the towel match from a few weeks back, so good. The match at Royal Albert Hall, back and forth with the Tag Team Championships. I want Undisputed to retain here. I like the UK boys doing the UK thing, taking it back to the UK style. But then again, with those UK shows coming up, maybe Mustache Mountain takes those NXT titles back to
gold.
the UK. But I'm liking the Undisputed Era with a lot of gold right now. Please don't take Kyle O'Reilly's guitar away.
He'll be
needs
so
it.
sad.
Right.
He can't use that little ass trophy. It's not going to work. You look like fucking Dave Matthews playing a guitar.
That is the shittiest Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic trope.
There's not even no fucking boots on it.
And it was like the shortest crap. It was like the shortest, most disappointing Dusty
Oh,
Rhodes Tag
God.
Team Classic too.
I honestly think they just threw it in there because we enough people complained
Right.
that there wasn't
Oh,
a
no,
Dusty
we
Rhodes
didn't get a Dusty
Classic.
Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
So then all of a sudden they're
Just
just
get
like,
him
well,
out there.
fine, here you go. Here's like 4 teams. Here we go.
Here you go. And here's your shitty trophy. Fuck off. Joe, who do you got in this one?
I like Mustache Mountain. I like them retaining the titles, taking them away because going into my other, next prediction when it comes to Adam Cole and Ricochet, this could be the night Undisputed loses all the gold.
Ooh.
Yes!
Taco, who do you got?
Shut your damn dirty mouth. Undisputed is going to walk out with the gold. All of them, Joe.
Speaking of Undisputed and
All of Undisputed.
walking out with all of the gold, Adam Cole versus Ricochet. Boy, Adam Cole, they talked about on NXT TV that he's been around for a year now.
Yeah.
Still that first North American champion. He's just doing really well in that role as champion, but boy, I love Ricochet, and I really want to see him do well, but boy, I don't want to.
It's so tough.
How do you do this here?
That's a good thing. That's a good thing for prediction.
Yes.
When you're like sitting there going, fuck, I want Adam Cole to win, but oh shit, Ricochet is fucking awesome. That's a win. That means you're so invested
Yeah.
that you're going to watch every particular detail of this match.
I'm definitely not turd burglaring this one. I don't know which way they're going to go here. But yeah, Adam Cole on top of that heel side, great faction.
So indigenous
and undisputed. Maybe how about but Ricochet? What about him winning it and being that high flying style champion, kind of elevating that North American champion to that high flying style, and the NXT title being the more quote unquote heavyweight style, but a more hard hitting, brutal style that what Johnny Gargano and Ciampa and Aleister Black have been doing. Certainly different from what Ricochet and Adam Cole are doing. So,
but I also could see it as a title, kind of like the Never Openweight Championship, where that's the kind of the strong style. But you see so many different people holding that Never title compared to, say, the heavyweight title. I see the North American Championship as that. It could be held as by a guy as small or
like
as athletic as Rey Mysterio, being, he was a world champion at one point, but like just point out that, but then you could have somebody like Lars walk in and just take the title from him. You have so many options. I think it's everyone's option. I love the Sasquatch photo of Lars on NXT tonight. That was the best part of that vignette. It was just they're scanning by everybody. You can clearly see there's Lars in the background in blurry vision.
Blurry.
And I'm pretty sure he was in like his gear too.
Oh yeah, he walking away from the building,
far away in the parking lot in his gear. We'll get into that video here in a minute because I know you got something you want to go off on there, Taco. But let's stick to the subject at hand. Did you make your prediction in there, Joe?
Oh,
I have Ricochet.
Okay, you got Ricochet. What do you got there, Taco? Then?
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby. All right, Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. Rematch from the Mae Young Classic last year. They got wins against each other. Sane won the Mae Young Classic. Baszler got a victory later on, I believe. So this is kind of the rubber match between these two. Baszler having a hell of a run on top as the women's champion. Really enjoying her work as champion.
Yeah, man.
And just waiting for good baby faces to come up to challenge her is really good. And I like Sane as that baby face challenging her. I don't see her winning, though. Digging the Shayna Baszler run. The only reason I see them taking the title off of her at this point would be if she's going to the main roster now. And I don't really see that at this point either. But anything could happen. But yeah, I'm thinking Baszler retains here.
I agree, only for the fact that, like you said, she isn't quite ready to go to main roster, but I feel like they're grooming her to be a champion. They're grooming her to be that badass champion, to walk in and take it from whoever the hell is holding that title down the road. But I think keeping her as champion is going to build her confidence. It's going to work on, building better matches, and she's going to work with better caliber people being the champion. So Baszler.
Taco.
Yeah, I'm with you. Baszler is quickly becoming one of my just overall favorites. Like just the confidence that's just fucking just oozing out of her. she's just so awesome, and I'm loving like this, that she's such a confident badass that Raw's in her hometown and she's appearing on Raw TV. Why? Why wouldn't I? I'm the NXT Women's Champion. I love that shit. It's awesome. It's unique. It's refreshing. And she's someone, just like, just laying a quick eyes on her, you're just like, oh my God, she's not going to go anywhere. She's in the MMA fighter mode. She's just going to be that badass. And she doesn't scream MMA fighter to me, which I love. She screams a pro wrestler to me.
Yeah.
That's, and it's nice. But she does it in such a good way where it's just like she's a legit badass. She's going to fuck people up.
She does it in like a Kushida way, or he's a babyface, so it's kind of a weird comparison. But
yeah,
there's like a legitimacy to her pro wrestling style,
right? She's someone that I firmly believe in. Throw them to the fire and let the good ones come out on top. And she's someone that's just put me in the fire, put me in the front of the line. I'm gonna be the fucking first one to rise up. I'm gonna be the star of this. And she's proven herself to that point, and it's awesome. It's so refreshing to see. To me, the person that's going to should probably take the title off her if she can step up to the plate is Dakota Kai. Just
That could be.
just with how much of a fucking nasty bully Baszler has been to her. Like a slow process. Hopefully,
They'd have to really
Triple
do a
H,
lot to rebuild her.
Triple
Yeah.
H is good at fucking doing that, and they're in the right spot for that. But it is up to these people too. They are the ones that have to step up to the plate.
I could see like a Candice LeRae being
Exactly,
built up
that's
too.
what I'm saying.
but-
I could even see Lacey Evans. I mean, heel on heel, I know, but she's. I've been impressed with all the work she's been doing and progressing.
To me, that
You're wrong, Tommy.
to me that spot is for Dakota Kai, but that's just the joy of professional wrestling,
Yeah.
and the downside of professional wrestling is you can easily just take her out and throw Candice LeRae in, or Bianca Belair.
She'd be a good one.
It's just
Although
so many
she's
names.
more on the cocky side.
Yeah,
but-
exactly.
But I mean, if you built her up right, she could be a
But
nice
it-
foe.
it's just there's those brass rings right there. Fucking grab them. Baszler obviously has your turn, Dakota Kai. So I'm rooting for Baszler in this one, though. Kerry Sane's fun and everything. I kind of want to see what's going to happen with the Mae Young Classic, to see what happens to Sane a little bit, because I know she has some friendly foes in there.
Yeah, you got Io Shirai coming in, who I'm really excited to see. So yeah, I mean,
I'm happy to see Mercedes Martinez back too.
yeah.
Which, by the way, since we're on it, I know I took care of the Twitter accounts. I didn't, not yours, but block Mae Young Classic, hashtag Mae Young. I blocked all that shit, and they're still fucking sneaking through. But I've not been spoiled.
I haven't seen any spoilers, so keep my fingers
It's
crossed.
mostly the
here.
hashtags are like sneaking through. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, looking forward to that. So let's talk about the main event: Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Sounds violent.
Last man standing match. I should add that.
Sounds violent.
And since it is a last man standing match, and it is WWE,
This match, anything goes.
so not a lot different from the last couple of matches that they've had, but this one being that it's last man standing, you've got the 10 count deal. So you kind of lose the dramatic near fall aspect to it a little bit, but they're going to be brawling all over the place because it's last man standing. They tend to take it out of the ring always with these last man standing deals and go all over the arena. So we've seen this type of match from these two before. Again, I'm disappointed because I liked the storyline they were doing with Aleister Black here. Obviously, he got injured. The storyline took him out of it. Now, this is where Taco has a nice little rant in him because he did not like... Now, originally, so there were two video packages that they had where they showed at the beginning of the show, someone comes in and gets Regal after announcing the three-way match, and somebody takes Regal outside, and you see Johnny Gargano coming inside, and you see Undisputed Era driving away. And that was all...
Not without safety belts. Very unsafe.
Well, they're the Undisputed Era. They're heels, Joe. So that's all you see. And then they address. There's Aleister Black laid out on the ground. Oh my God, who did it? So then later in the show, they do this video package where literally you can see from different angles and whatnot, and extra found footage. There's literally everybody from NXT, including Scissor Banana, by the way, who we haven't seen in
Kona
months.
Reeves.
Everybody's there. Taco, talk about this. I know you.
It's just it felt like the most unnatural thing to me. Like, NXT has done some great shit, like Lars, that whole fucking clip of the
Press conferences,
them pulling out their fucking cell phones and everything. But this was just last week with the fucking EC3 and the pool fucking scene. I was like, we saw this shit on Impact, like.
Well, here, what I did
like.
like is they threw to Kathy Kelly, and it was a segment called WWE Now.
Do the now.
So I liked it. It was that, but it was like way too much other stuff.
Well, it's just like it's
everybody. Everybody
I
was
get
there.
it. It's a Full Sail University. I get it. Like, it's not like you're going to an arena or anything like that. So I kind of expect like fucking KO and Candice LeRae and Kairi Sane to be fucking at a coffee with at a table with no lights on them, not eating or drinking anything. Or why is Tommaso Ciampa even near the building right now, fucking
Carrying his belt?
rubbing it in his face and
Because
hugging
that's all
it.
he does when he's not in the ring is he walks around the arena and he hugs his belt.
And this fucking Undisputed Era feeling like they're the fucking Archie and like, yeah, cool, convertible, drive away. It's just, who shot Mr. Burns? Like, that's what it felt like. It felt so fucking unnatural. Like, it just was like one of the worst things I ever seen on NXT. Was it funny? Yeah, but it felt like they were trying to do some fucking like freeze frame challenge for a fucking internet thing.
Yeah, it wasn't your main event program.
And I walked in on them like, and stop. Oh, okay, and continue on. Like, oh god, it just threw me out of everything.
I hear the TNA is hiring.
That's just what it really felt like, you know. It's disappointing.
All right, well, let's talk about this match. Again, last man standing, so not the best of stipulations, but these two really deliver when it comes to these type of just violent back-and-forth brawls. Is this the double turn? A lot of people speculate about this. Does Ciampa become babyface? I don't know how you turn that guy babyface, but can you turn Gargano heel in a situation like this? I think that's
He's already becoming heel.
I think it's a little more possible, yeah, especially with the
I
Aleister
said it
Black.
months ago with the whole Sami Callihan, Eddie Edwards situation. I have been comparing the two. It's just like guy is becoming what he hates.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but maybe that aggressiveness is just what he needs to become the champion. I don't know.
But
I don't see a double turn coming.
No.
I see them trying to do that down the line, but again, there was a story to tell here.
Yeah.
They got rushed because of the Aleister Black
Yep.
thing.
That's the problem.
I think somebody gets technically eliminated here, you know, for a little while. They're going to disappear and they make their magic comeback, and that's when you start working that story again. You can kill a couple months, you can work this story, and we can go all the way back to WrestleMania again.
well, as Hideo said, that parking lot's dangerous. But what is the time? Is there any timetable on Aleister at all?
It's not super long.
Because to me, like, this is kind of, you know, not kind of a good setup for them to kind of eliminate each other in a 10 count so nobody stands up and you don't get a definitive winner, and then you can have Black come back and then you can answer the triple threat match.
Sure. So let's go official predictions on this thing. We've gone long here. Ciampa retains or Ciampa wins? Are you going your double count out gimmick?
I'm going Ciampa retains, and Gargaz is to be too loose of a cannon. He's a smart wrestler. He's a smart guy. He needs to play it smart, and he's not.
What do you think there, Joe?
I'm going Ciampa as well. There's just something I don't see Gargano as that top guy. He's
Not
a
yet.
great wrestler.
There's more story to
needs,
tell.
He's great
Again,
for
more
mid-card
story to tell,
205.
and he just needs that little extra edge. But Ciampa's definitely taking that.
Did you say he's going to go to 205?
I said he'd be great for mid-card 205.
Weird question. Is Jinder Mahal a cruiserweight?
Yeah, I can't see Gargano coming out as champion here. It's too soon. Ciampa just won the title, and with this Aleister Black thing getting thrown into it, it just feels unnatural. And this is just this has to be a like you said. It's they're not ready to tell this part of the story yet. So it has to be.
To me, Gargano, if he wins this championship from Ciampa, it has to be on one-on-one, no fucking stipulation,
Yes.
ref in the middle.
Straight up.
Gargano is smart, been thinking. He's been watching those tapes!
Yeah, watch those tapes.
Watch the damn tapes.
So, you know, that's the Gargano that needs to win this match. Otherwise, you are falling into Ciampa's games 100% of the time. You're gonna, you know, he's letting you fucking run rampant in your own fucking mind, and that's how Ciampa wins, and that's why Ciampa is champ.
All right, before we get out of here, let's do our match of the week.
Change the subject. Match of the week.
Joe, let's start with you, because it's the best one.
Oh, man. Talking the G1 finals, this is really one of the probably maybe 5 matches I did get to see from the G1 Climax. Couldn't think of the word for the life of me.
I forget the climax.
But
too,
we're
Joe.
but the story that was told between Tanahashi and Ibushi in this finals, slow, deliberate, building up to big moves. I mean, you had Tanahashi trying to take out Ibushi's legs on a regular basis. One of his biggest strengths is his legs. His finishing move, the Kamagoye. Yeah, I nailed that. Is his fucking knees. You know, you got to take it out. And then I liked the fact that while I don't think Kota Ibushi was really getting up, I think Tanahashi was just trying to nail it in the coffin by hitting those 3 high-five flows at the end.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that he needed to. It was just the fact that he's like, you know what? This is going to be for 100% certain. I'm hitting 3 of these sons of bitches on you.
Well, and the spot in the match where Tanahashi's been beaten down, Kota Ibushi's just kicking his ass, beating him down, and Tanahashi's just had enough, and he's got, you know what? Fuck you. I'm older. I'm more experienced. I've been in this game longer than you, and maybe I'm not as good as you anymore, but God damn it, I've got more fighting spirit, and you can hit me, and I'm just going to keep coming back, and he keeps walking forward, and he walks Kota Ibushi all the way across the ring as Kota Ibushi is hitting him in the face. He won't back down. He backs Kota Ibushi all the way into the opposite corner of the ring. Just the story of the fighting spirit just on display in that fantastic final match. It was my favorite match of the entire tournament. It really was.
Usually ends up being those finals.
Yeah.
I mean, again, and then how many different stories came out of just this one match, where they can go in many different directions. Again, New Japan, they love that long con.
Absolutely. Taco, what is your match of the week?
I went with Ishii and Sonata.
Interesting.
I thought it was a really fun match. A lot of people always look at Sonata, the future of New Japan, and sometimes disappoints. But this was one of those matches. It was like you throw a championship on the line, and it would have been so suiting for this type of match. And fucking I fucking love Ishii, man. He's just so fucking fun to watch. And this was one of those matches where these two guys click too, just really well with each other. And I don't know if you guys remember that scene in fucking Jason Takes Manhattan when he fucking punches the dude's head off the fucking the rooftop and it just goes fucking flying. I thought that was gonna be Sonata's head a couple times with some of those fucking clotheslines. Like just those clotheslines were nasty, man.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Ishii earlier, but just great matches with just everybody.
Yeah.
So my match of the week: Kenny Omega versus Kota Ibushi, the B block final. So this is how Kota Ibushi made it into the finals. So Kota Ibushi beating Kenny Omega, beating his best friend, his golden lover, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and the rematch after 6 years. These two faced off in Budokan Hall for DDT, and it was an insane, crazy match. They pulled out all the stops in that match. They did too much by many accounts, and so people had this one circled. How crazy are these guys going to go? Didn't go quite as crazy, but I mean, just the fact that Kota Ibushi beat the champion here, will get a rematch at some point, probably. But just a fantastic match. The entire G1 Climax. So many great, amazing matches. Go to bestprowrestlingpodcast.com/G128, and there I've got the list of my recommended matches from the G1. So pretty much everything like 4 stars and up is there, plus some other gems that I liked along the way. So you can just go to the website, click on the menu, you'll see the G1 recommended matches there. If you're looking for things to pick and choose from the overwhelming amount of wrestling that's on the G1 Climax, if you're new to that. And also, of course, check out the Strong Honor podcast. We do previews for G1s, cover it week by week as we go through the whole thing. All right, man, I think that's it, man. Woo. That was a long one. Covered a lot there. Oofta is right. So make sure you go rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes to this show, please. Follow the show at BPW Podcast. Follow me at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. And make sure you go over to sltdwrestling.com. That is a great fan website with articles, a fantasy league, getting ready to start up the predictions league again, starting
both leagues again.
Right, starting because they redesigned the website, and I think they just go by half years anyway on those things. But either way, get on those things now, and then also you can find this podcast, Strong Honor, there, as well as some other great podcasts on the SLTD.com or SLTDWrestling.com podcast network. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at JoeBPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for checking out this show. Bye.
Peace.
Absolutely.